I've hired other coaches more on the business side to help me in real estate specifically. But also along the way, I realized that there's the area of health and fitness is something that I've never really gotten to really build the habits that I needed to build for the long term. So I knew that getting really healthy, exercising regularly, getting into great shape, I always knew the benefit that could bring me, but I was never really able to get any sort of consistency where I can go a few months and get into pretty good shape and get to a good place, but something would happen and all my habits would go to hell and I would be back at square one. And it would take me a long time to get back into it again. And sometimes years. I would sometimes go a year plus in between. And so where I was health and fitness wise was just like absolutely no consistency, knowing I wanted to do better, not really knowing how. Always by the afternoon, just sluggish and no motivation to push myself harder, whether it's at work or in my business. And not just that, but also at home. I remember I never wanted to play tag with my kids. That would just take too much energy. And I didn't think of it in the sense of energy, but I knew how I felt like when we did run around, even for 5 minutes, and I would just be exhausted and I just wouldn't want to do it. So I'd always make up excuses about why I couldn't play tag with them or do this or that. I know I wouldn't be going on a wilderness survival training course in September for a week. I know that wouldn't have happened. I know I would not have gone on a 9-mile hike with 40 pounds on my back last Saturday. Certain things that I'm now doing almost automatically, right? I'm setting these goals out there. Now, I used to set career goals and business goals that I would go after, although less aggressively because I didn't have the energy I do now, but I would still go after them. And now I'm setting equally aggressive health and fitness goals about my training, about the lean muscle I want to put on, about hikes I want to go on, or this training that I'm working towards in September in a few months here. There's a few key elements that I can think of. One is having that person that is the subject matter expert. There's somebody that I can go to and ask the question about what do I do in this case? My shoulder's feeling a little wonky. What do I do about that? I'm not seeing the weight drop on the scale, or here's where I'm at. How do I correct for this? So there's like guidance. So the other piece I think is really powerful is the accountability piece. It's having someone to show up to and talk about what you actually did, right? Reflect back on, this is what we were going to work on this week. This is what I actually got done. And sometimes it's a celebration. You got everything done. That's awesome. And here are the results, and just help build the momentum and the energy to do more of it. And sometimes it's, okay, I did not stick to the diet. I had 30 slices of pizza yesterday and I feel like crap. And okay, all right, what are you going to do this week? How are we going to correct for this? How do we tweak things either in the diet or the exercise regime so that you're not tempted by 30 slices of pizza, right? Like, where can we address those things? But like constantly problem solving and dialing in to where we get to a really sustainable place where I can just continue to make gains. So in the first 3 months, there were a lot of gains. Some of the stuff we worked on was just the education. I learned more about fitness and working out and the types of exercises to do and that kind of thing, and just like basic physiology. There was also like the consistency, like building the habits, really laying the groundwork for understanding what I'm doing, why, when, and all that, and actually doing it. And then getting those basic results to see that it works and that to build the momentum. So I lost some weight. I probably lost 10, 15 pounds in those first 3 months. I definitely put on a lot of muscle. Inches lost, definitely lost a few. How I felt was just night and day, and having the extra energy. A big part of working with Taylor was the mindset. He's got a lot of mindset exercises that we've done together, and got a chance to be like really vulnerable in front of another person and do some really deep work on that stuff about how I thought about health and fitness and how I thought about showing up for my family and all those things to help me really internalize the reason I was doing these things, and maybe reasons for why I'm doing things that weren't to my benefit. But the mindset thing was so key, and it helped place the health and fitness on the same level that I was putting my business and career and family. So like equal pillar. And it's very much a supporting pillar because it feeds into the energy that I have for everything else. The program itself is holistic. It covers all the angles. So it covers the mindset, it covers the education, it covers the habit, it covers the accountability. It's everything I needed for sure. It's part of working with Taylor and seeing the possibilities. And also on my entrepreneurial journey, just getting more aggressive and more intentional about what I want and going after what I want and having the energy to go after what I want. The one good story I can tell is about this wilderness survival course that I'm training for. And it's the Boulder Outdoor Survival School. And so I looked them up. I saw that they had wilderness survival courses, and I'm like, that's perfect. That's what I want to do. I want to go out there and learn this stuff. And it's a whole week long. It's basically in the desert with minimal gear, and you learn everything. So I'm like, I'm signing up for that. I would not have done any of that without Taylor and the work that we did together, the mindset, and then the dialing in of the plan. How do we make this a thing? This is a thing I want to do. How do we make that happen? How do we make sure I'm ready? I'm going after what I want in life. That's the result. If I had to sum it up, it's really just based on having that life energy to go after things, to go harder in business, to go harder with family, be more present with them, to go harder on the health and fitness stuff, and having that life energy to go after all the things that I want to do. He's just super cool to work with. Taylor he's a great coach. So when I think of a coach, what does a coach do? They hold up a mirror where you can see what you're doing, right? And they help you both identify those things that are maybe you need to work on in your mindset. They hold you accountable to things, and they also help you celebrate. And the thing I think Taylor does better than any other coach that I've worked with is he helps me celebrate my success. So when I bring back stories about what I did well this week and how I'm now taking ownership of my workouts and like this whole thing with the wilderness survival, planning that all out, he just takes a moment and says, Ron, can you just pause for a second and just listen to yourself? Just look at what you're doing right now. This is awesome. You just need to celebrate. Can you just think about what was it like 6 months ago? You weren't doing this 6 months ago. And he does that better than anyone else I've worked with, and really helps me reflect back on the progress I've made and how things really have changed, and celebrating and reveling in that, and letting that propel me to do even more and just continue on and solidify it and make it like, this isn't a thing that I'm just doing with Taylor for a while. This is my new life. This is me now. This is how I show up. How much he knows about diet, exercise, physiology, all that stuff is amazing to me. But just having that one resource that I can go to, one-stop shop of all the information, and also directing me where else can I go to learn more. So my son has been on this health and fitness journey with me to some extent. He's been seeing me like put in time in the gym, doing different exercises, things like that. And more recently, he's become interested in as well. And what's cool is the same stuff I'm doing with Taylor, like we're setting goals we're trying to hit rep counts of certain exercises and that kind of thing. Like I'm doing that with Michael. It's such a cool thing I can do together with my son. He's getting that health and fitness education that I never had, that I didn't get till I was 40. He's getting it at 10. He's going to have that for the rest of his life. He's going to have some of these basic habits, and hopefully for the rest of his life. And that's a part of my legacy. That's part of what I'm leaving for him, is he's getting at 10 what I got at 40. Where I'm at is like really sustainable, and I can continue to make gains with muscle mass. And I also know how to turn the dials and knobs for what I need right now. For example, right now I'm training for the wilderness survival course. So I'm not putting the foot on the gas with weight loss or with trying to reduce fat. I'm feeding my body, I'm fueling performance so I can go on these long hikes and recover really well and get ready for that training. Now, when I get back, I know that I'm probably going to trim during that week because it's a wilderness survival course. So I'll probably come back maybe 0.5% body fat less than before. But after that, I'll probably want to taper a little bit, give my body a chance to recover, and then maybe push the pedal a little bit of the fat loss. Empowering, fun, education. I found this not just in health and fitness, but other things I've done in my life. Every time I've invested in myself, I've always learned. I've always gotten a return on that investment. So it just boils down to that. And also, if you're on the fence, you want to talk to a real client, come talk to me. Happy to get on a call with anyone who wants to know a little bit more about what it's like on the inside. Taylor, if you're watching this, thank you. It wouldn't be without you.